Welcome back to Studio Friends, and in this video, we are going to be talking all things Alien Earth. Episodes 1 and 2 were out on Tuesday. I watched them. I got some thoughts. Stay tuned. The show was created by Noah Hawley, and if you are aware of his work, you know the show is going to be good. He did Fargo. He did Legion. Haven't seen Legion, but I have watched all of Fargo, and that show is incredible. One of the best TV shows to come out in recent memory. And he's the man behind the scenes here at Alien Earth. I wasn't too sure how a TV show would work. I was kind of worried that they might not put in enough money to make this show look amazing. However, I was proven wrong. And man, yeah, I got to say the quality is there. The money they put into this show really shows. So let's dive right into the episode 1. Obviously, the show's going to have a few Easter eggs and a few little nods to the original. I love how they had like the music from Alien when they're searching the crash ship, looking for any kind of survivors. That kind of little touches just connect the whole universe for me. And then that's what gets me in. That's what gets me involved because honestly, outside of Aliens, Alien 1 and Alien 2, top notch. Everything outside of that, I don't know, has been kind of a miss for me, except Romulus. And that was kind of the trajectory of Alien for me was that, okay, they finally matched my expectations with Alien Romulus. And I was really hoping they weren't going to kind of shit the bed with this show. And they haven't. And just like little nods like the music and the sound effects and just the sets that tie this whole universe together really make this show shine. I love the opening scene, the little callbacks, so even like the sounds, the text, and everything from the original Alien movie were all there. Everything felt like it was directly from the 70s. And of course, the show does take place, I believe, a few years before Alien, so it makes sense. It makes sense why everything feels like it was filmed in the 70s. Like everything straight from the sets. Even the actors. The actors look like they're from the 70s. It was kind of crazy. I'm like, where do you even find these people? I thought people that looking like from the 70s didn't exist anymore, but they got them for the show. And it looks amazing. Like, I can't believe this is a TV show. Like, the production value is so high. Like, the amount of money it must have cost to build all those practical sets for just that opening sequence in the spaceship must have cost so much money. They're putting all their eggs in the basket of Alien Earth. They're probably hoping that it's going to be kind of like their Game of Thrones and like their next epic TV series. And so far, in episode 1, it is looking really, really good. However, I do have a gripe. When they go to Earth, I felt Earth looked a little. Maybe it was a little more different than I thought. I thought Earth was going to be more apocalyptic for some, like post-apocalyptic for some reason. I thought it was going to look a little bit like Los Angeles and Blade Runner. Maybe just because they're both Ridley Scott projects, I just assumed they're kind of connected. And they were kind of loosely connected a little bit and some Easter eggs in Prometheus and such. But anywho, Earth looked a little bit more pristine than I thought it would. And the technology on Earth is a little better than I thought. Like when the spaceship crashes and it kind of in this like mall, there's this giant screen and it just looks like a giant LED screen that you'd be getting in our current world. But on spaceships and everything is all black and green or black and white and all analog. So that kind of threw me off a little bit and just in terms of the world building. But outside of that, everything else in this show looks really, really good. And I'm loving the whole storyline between the synth and her brother, who she's trying to find. And I just kind of like that. I just like, for me, I'm a sucker for any kind of thing sibling related. I have a brother. I'm very close with him. So I'm just like more invested in this story. I'm more invested in the story because of that sibling connection, which they do dive into in episode 2. As a whole, episode 1 I thought was a really great intro into this story, into this kind of extension of the alien universe and what Earth is like. I thought they did a really good job of just kind of like building that and just really getting you hooked with all the nostalgia, all the member berries. It felt great. And also Timothy Oliphant, I think that's his name. Dude looks like he's about to talk about Tears in the Rain. He's straight out of Blade Runner, and he's just amazing in it. Like he was in obviously Justified, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, and he was great in all those roles. But he always plays that sheriff. I haven't seen him kind of play this like creepy, cyborg AI synthetic type character. And like I did not know it was him. I did not recognize him without his eyebrows and that bleach blonde hair. I'm excited to see where that guy's story goes. He was a great character. With episode 2, I really like the opening scene and how it's kind of like a flashback from the first episode as like the Alien Earth text is going on screen. So it's almost like previously on Alien Earth, but they did that as the opening scene, as the opening title sequence, which I thought was really smart. The episode goes on. I feel like they kind of got away from that 1970s aesthetic from the first episode because I feel like they almost used that in the first episode to get you hooked for all those Alien fans. And in the second episode, obviously the nostalgic type 70s vibe is still sprinkled in, but I feel like they slowly drifted away as the episode went on, which I think is fair. Like, this is a modern day TV show. It is going to look a little better than something filmed in the 1970s. I was all for it. There was some odd scenes. I'm going to talk a little bit spoilers again, like when they're rescuing the people in the condo and they get into that room and there's like that rich person's party and they're all dressed in like the 1800s type costumes. I thought it was super out of place. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, this is very Blade Runner esque. This is very much a nod. I felt like the Blade Runner universe, because I feel like that's something that would happen in that universe. Also reminds me of the toy makers' toys in the first Blade Runner, just how their costumes looked. And then it was amazing to see the xenomorph just tear them apart. And talking about the xenomorph, it looks like a guy in a suit, which is good. I think. I think it threw me off a little bit because, as you know, it's a modern TV show. I'm like, oh, but the show does take place before Alien, and that's how the xenomorph looks in that. So I love that. I love how they kind of use those practical prosthetics for the alien, and then they used a little bit of CG when they needed to make him look more menacing, and it worked super well. And yeah, this show does not shy away from gore at all. It's probably the goriest Alien I've seen. I think. Actually, no, that's a lie. There's some pretty really gory scenes in the Alien franchise, but for a TV show, it's crazy. So as I mentioned, and when I was talking about episode one, the storyline between the brothers and sisters came to not a conclusion, but it kind of just started when they finally meet in episode two. I love that scene. And like you can see like the skepticism in the brother's eyes. He's like, you can't be my sister, like she's dead. And they have that moment. He's asking her personal questions to like kind of, fact check what she's saying. And yeah, and that storyline really gets me invested in this show. And I just can't wait to see where they take it, how it connects to the bigger Alien universe. Because yeah, it's only a few years before Alien 1. So pretty excited to see where they go with this. And yeah, you gotta trust Noah Hawley's writing. Like I said, he did Fargo, he did Legion. He is peak TV showrunner. Super excited for the show. Can't wait till next week. I think just one episode is next week. So episode 3, I'll have a quick review for that. And yeah, are you stoked? Is it scratching that alien itch? And then also, if you like this kind of content, make sure you like and subscribe. Gotta say that stuff because I don't know, a lot of you guys aren't subbed, but you could be. It's free. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.